Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about I Love Lucy. More specifically, about the actual location where the Ricardos and the Mertzes should have been according to the story. Now, to narrow down exactly the location, we're going to have to look at a couple episodes to get a rough idea. I want to make clear that this isn't a look at the actual location or actual place where the show was filmed. That's different. I made a whole entire video on that. I'll leave a link in the description for you to see that one. This is one where, according to the story, where would the Ricardos live? Now, we knew New York, New York. If you watch the episodes, you'll know that that's basically, but where exactly New York? It's so big. So looking at a couple of these episodes, especially this one from season 4, this one will tell us a lot. It's called Getting Ready, and what's great about it is we see a lot of the exterior or the outside of the apartment complex where the Mertzes and the Ricardos lived. And it was great. They were waiting for Fred to bring the Cadillac that they were going to take to California. Now, of course, it's a funny episode in which Fred brings this old beat-up Cadillac, and it gives us an idea of what the outside would have looked like in terms of the story. Now, moving on to season 3, that's a season before, we really look at a certain episode. It's called $1 Million Idea. Now, in this one, of course, Lucy and Ethel are the ones who are trying to get this gigantic idea or this brilliant idea of making tons of money, becoming millionaires by selling the salad dressing. And they go on the Dickie Davis show with Freddie Fillmore, of course, and from there we see Ethel hold up a sign letting everyone know the address where they're supposed to send their orders in. And this is our proof. This is showing us where the apartment is, 623 East 68th Street. And that's all we see. And so that gives us a precise location, a precise idea of where this would be. Now, it is mentioned before. Lucy in season 1, even in season 2, tells people how to get to the apartment. She tells them 623 East 68th Street. So that's not a problem at all. But this is the first time that we actually see it visually and in terms of the numbers. So we see that there's no error of where it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you right now to that location so you see in what town, in what little area of New York City this is actually in, and what does it look like? Are there apartment complexes now? Is it in the middle of a river? Some people have said that this location's actually like right in a river in New York somewhere and there's really no location there. Well, you may be surprised to find out. Let's go take a look though to see where 623 East 68th Street in New York is. Alright guys and gals, let's take a look at where Ricky, Lucy, Fred, and Ethel lived according to the story of I Love Lucy. So this over here is of course the Long Island. So this is Long Island. We have the Statue of Liberty over here temporarily closed because of what's going on. But this is Brooklyn. So we are going to zoom in to 623 East 68th Street. Now, if you go to West 68th Street, you're going to go to another location. So I want to make sure I'm going to the right location to give you guys and gals the proper footing. Now, what's interesting to know already is that these little houses are here popping up. What's really cool, going back to that episode that I showed you from season 4, Getting Ready, it's very interesting that this could have worked, where Fred came in and just drove in with the Cadillac. This is very plausible in terms of the story and so forth. And look, the highway, they have a highway like right here, interstate, and so that's really, really cool, right next to 7th Avenue. And if we continue, this is where the fun starts. Now, if we look around, we'll see that this neighborhood, 68th Street over here, is very narrow. This would have worked. Now remember, there was never any filming here, but if we use that address, this is the location that pops up. This is where they would have been according to the story. So this is so cool to me because it orients us to what they would have seen, what they would have looked at. Now look at it here, 623, this is 624. So we see that these are pretty much homes, individual homes, smaller homes, not really apartment complexes. Now you may say, well, then that means that, you know, it's not really accurate and so forth. Well, not necessarily true, because if we would have gone back into the 50s, there very well could have been apartment complexes here. They could have been torn down, and this is it over here, 619, 621, and 623 is 625. So 623 doesn't technically exist. There's no 623 East 68th Street. It would have been here, or would have been one building technically. If these two were torn down and built as one, and it would have been 623 East 68th Street, this is what we would come up with in terms of a location. There's trees here and so forth, and I think it's pretty awesome. It's a one-way street, which is really interesting to know. That again would have worked, because if cars wouldn't have parked here, that would have made sense, Cadillac coming over here. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a quick little video. This is the location of I Love Lucy, where it should have been filmed, or that is where the Ricardos and Mertzes would have lived if we looked at the story. Similar to this, I made a video on Sanford and Son, to the location in South Central where they noted that they lived, and so I made a video on that. Make sure to check it out. There's other ones that I made, also Hogan's Heroes, where that was and where that was filmed. Lots more for you to see. So thank you so much for the support as always. Thank you so much for watching my videos, liking, subscribing. It really does mean a lot, and it goes a whole long way. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, guys and gals, be hopeful. Thank you to everyone who supports me and my channel, especially through Patreon, where you could be listed on here. My awesome diamond tier patrons, Gary N, Sydney R, David D, and Ricky. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you back real soon. Links, playlists to my other 1,300 videos could be found in the description.